and then send them out in the world to learn responsibility and gain real-life experience. And if you are outside of the brick-and-mortar Department of Education
like at school,
model, you can do this.
You know what real-life experience is? Talking to people, being around people, socializing. Something that we as a society have forgotten thanks to our capitalist overlords. Jobs. Boy, do I hate jobs. Not Steve Jobs, mind you, although I also hated him before he died, and I still do, because my hatred for you does not change just because you've passed from this mortal plane. But anyway, no, careers, right? Jobs. So jobs are a big talking point these days. I hear they're very important to have. Not that I would know, being a streamer. Just kidding. I actually do have a job. But anyway, it's important to have a job in today's turbulent times because our corporate overlords said so. They hoard all the wealth and all the resources, and they say, if you do not do your little wage slave duty, then you do not get your daily rations, correct? This is just a burden that we take on once we become full-fledged adults in this world. It's very sad that we have to toil away for half of our waking hours just underselling our labor to somebody who doesn't give a shit about us or our well-being. That being said, conservatives have come up with a brilliant idea. They said, what if we subjected minors, yes, children even, to that? I think that'd be a great idea, right? Let's subject children to that awful torture of, selling your labor, right? We can pay them less even. In fact, let's make it even worse for them. Let's pay them less than we pay everyone else. I think that'd be a great idea. Because that's what we do, right? It's just cheap labor. So I know that in Florida, let me look this up real quick. Florida child labor law. Here we go. House bill. The House bill would allow for 16, 17-year-olds to work more than 8 hours a day, even if school is the next day, or more than 30 hours a week when school is in session. It originally eliminated all restrictions on 16 and 17-year-olds working in the early morning or late at night. So yeah, they just straight up want children to work, right? But, they also want to protect the kids somehow. Somehow that makes sense to them. The math ain't mathin' to me, but let's see what Brett Cooper has to say about it, because apparently she has some opinions, and I, for one, highly value Brett Cooper's opinion of anybody's. All right, let's do this.
Welcome back to the comments section. I'm Brett Cooper. So there are very few things in this world that genuinely surprise me anymore. But I saw a conversation on X that absolutely took me aback. And it was not because it was particularly
Let me know if this is good volume
or outlandish or horrifying, but I genuinely thought that we all agreed on this and that it just didn't warrant a discussion. But apparently it does. The left does not think.
Sorry, my cat just shit and it stinks. Jesus Christ. Christ, Winry. Anyway.
That young people should have jobs. And they're claiming that teens working is oppressive child labor pushed by our...
You could sell feed pics? Okay, we're talking about child labor, so I could, sure. But let's save that. Please, let's save that one for the adults, please. If anything
society.
else. Wait. What was that?
Does not think that young people should have jobs. And they're claiming...
No, they shouldn't. No, they're not young people. They're kids. You're talking about children, man. Kids. Christ.
Working is oppressive child...
Yes, young people. They are people. I'm not saying they're not people, but kids. You're very selective with your language now, aren't you? Kids should not have jobs.
Labor pushed by...
Nobody should have a job. We live in a post-scarcity society, but now you want to shove that responsibility not only on people who are between the ages of 18 and 65, but to everybody. Just give 1-year-olds jobs, man. Might as well.
Our capitalist society. You literally
They got lips. Put them to work.
Before we get into the story, make sure that you
make them produce
video,
milk or
subscribe
something.
to
I
the
don't
channel
know.
If you've not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section upload. So this all started from a
got moving limbs.
tweet where a random account posted a video from TikTok, and she said, "Child labor is back in action in America." And you can see the screenshot here. It's a kid. It was just a video of a 14-year-old boy working at Burger King, which I'm
disgusting. Absolutely freak shit. No. Why? Why would you want your kid? Okay, I made a post about this on Twitter, and I'm going to say it here right now. Let me ask you guys something. Why do conservatives hate kids so much? Why do they hate kids so much? Now, bear with me. If you don't believe me about conservatives hating kids, think about this and their own kids, mind you. Think about this for 1 second. You have a kid, right? You want the best for this kid. You want this kid to grow up and be happy and smart and strong and whatever and live their best life. You just want the best for your kid, right? So what are you going to do? Oh, let's throw them into fucking Burger King behind a deep fryer, right? I'm sure they'll be really happy there. Yeah, okay, dude. No. How about no? I don't want my kids ever to have to work. Honestly, I don't want them to ever have to work. If my kids have to work, I feel like I will have failed them as a parent. I want to be able to provide for my kids until the day that I die. And I do want kids, mind you, okay? So some people might say that that would spoil them. But no, I say no. If I'm able to provide for my kids, then I have succeeded as a man. As a fucking man, okay? So fuck you and this child labor shit. It's disgusting. It's freak shit. It's pussy shit, and I hate you.
Sorry is totally normal and legal. We all have this warped idea now that working a fast food job is some long-term career, and for some people, I'm sure it is now, but we're demanding, living wage, need to be making
guess whose fault that
$35
is?
an hour. Until recently, this job
Turn it up a little bit.
was for somebody that was his age. It was for tweens.
That's not true. Actually, no, I take that back. Yeah, in archaic days, during archaic times when it was absolutely necessary, children worked. You're right. And then we took that away. You know why? Unions said, no, we don't want our kids to slave away in mines and Burger Kings. We don't want that. Okay? And that's a good thing. That's called progress. Let's not go back to that tradition. Okay? We don't need it anymore. Why don't you go also bash your head against a rock or something in Minecraft, Like you might as well just go full monkey, go full ape, go on.
Teens, college students. This is not shocking. The fact that people online were freaking out about this is wild to me. Now, guys, we had to blur this video because he's under the age of 18.
Okay, you go work Burger King. You go do it, Brett Cooper. Why don't you go do it? Oh, no, sorry. You have to hang out in your comfy little studio that you pretend is your bedroom, right? Yeah.
But I promise you, behind this blur,
never had to work
at
a Burger King a day in your life.
The
Shut the
best
fuck
time.
up.
There were so many people commenting saying, like, there is nothing wrong here because this kid is obviously very happy. If you want to actually see him working, I'm sure you can find the video on Twitter or on TikTok.
No, he's not.
Been circulating for days now. But this kid is not oppressed.
Let's say that he is happy, by the way. He'd be much happier in like a club. Why not a book club or a chess team or a sport? Why Burger King? That's so soulless. How about no?
In the slightest.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
This post was deleted because this girl got...
Let me tell you something. If I walk into a place and I see a kid that is well, let me preface this. There was one time that I walked in somewhere. I was on a road trip, and there was this guy, and he looked so young. And I asked him while I was checking out, I was like, so you just work here then? He looked like 14, I swear to God. And he sounded like it too. And then he's like, you think I'm underage, don't you? So I was like, I did think you're underage. I'm so sorry. And he's like, it happens all the time. It's okay, man. I was just so taken aback. So don't assume things, okay? But at the same time, if I see somebody who is very clearly underage, I'm going to be skeptical. I'm going to want to walk out. You don't deserve my business. You're disgusting.
So much flack for posting it. So I don't have any of the original replies, but last night I was able to find somebody that had retweeted it, so I was able to go in, click on the quote tweets. So I got some of those. It just created this whole discourse online about whether this is...
She talks so fast, I thought it was on a higher speed.
Appropriate or safe or normal. But one person
No,
said,
it's not. It's very abnormal.
Waiting in anticipation of becoming the age where I could apply for a paper round as I wanted to buy my own video games.
Cool.
Whatever the motivator, kids wanting to take on responsibility should be encouraged.
Yeah, responsibility, not for your fucking corporate overlords. You guys think that you're the party of freedom? Wow.
That last line.
A party of
so
freedom,
as
long as you sell your labor to me.
Gen Alpha recently, and the utter lack of personal responsibility, the utter
for a price that I force upon
self-awareness
you.
and self-control. Maybe they should go get a job at Sephora.
No, if they have a lack of self-awareness and self-control, that's a problem with the parents. What is with these conservatives and not blaming bad parents anymore? Why do you allow bad parents to proliferate? Oh, I remember why. It's because you love bad parents and you love stupid people. You want a big horde of stupid people that you can fucking control because you're demons. You're disgusting monsters and freaks.
Then looting the damn stores. When I was in my early tweens, I would walk dogs, I would pet sit, I would make little posters and hang them all over the neighborhood.
I would literally prefer my kid loot a store than like work at it in some ways. In some ways.
I think it was at 10 years old that I became a Red Cross certified babysitter, and I started out
Did
as
Ben
a mother's helper, like
True.
cleaning and being around while the parents were at home. Then I think at 13, I became a weekly babysitter, and I was babysitting 3 kids multiple days a week, total responsibility for them when I was 15.
Please make Ben Shapoopoo at home stop talking. I don't think it's Ben Shapoopoo at home. I just think it's like Femme Ben Shapoopoo. They're on about the same level.
I got my GED.
That's
and
very
I
much
started
on
working
purpose, too.
8-hour shifts.
They're
5 days
feeding
a week
into it.
at Trader Joe's. I'm not scarred.
Cool.
That was not...
Yes, you fucking are. Look at you. You're advocating for child labor. Yes, you are scarred. And you have not gone to therapy for it, ma'am. Okay? Yeah, you're absolutely scarred. Shut the fuck up and seek therapy.
traumatizing. I actually,
Maybe then you won't advocate for child
really enjoyed
labor.
It. Number one, because I'm obsessed with Trader Joe's. Number two, because I was making money.
Money!
What kid does not like making money?
Ew. Ew. I thought that the Bible said that, like, money is bad. Do you know I literally denied an overtime shift today to be with you guys? Okay, I'm not usually allowed overtime, but they offered me one because they were desperate, and I said no, because I got other shit going on. Okay? I don't want your money. Don't need it. You know why? Because I got enough. I got everything I need right here, okay? I'm good. It's my Friday.
And having independence, financial independence.
Look how much you offer me.
That's like the greatest thing you could do at 15 years old. Being able to go out and buy stuff, go out and hang with your friends, and not have to beg your mom for money.
Yeah, so I'll give you money if I'm your parent.
Lost that? That's normal. My brothers did the same thing. They all worked at grocery stores too. In high school, my mom would
Let me ask, since I know there are probably kids watching this, would you prefer, right? Would you prefer if your parents made you go out and get a fucking job, or if they just had money for you as long as you keep your grades up? You know, keep your grades up, keep your nose clean, and I'll give you a monthly, weekly, whatever allowance. You know, which one would you prefer, right? Because, like, I'm just saying, like, if kids happen to be watching this, I'm not saying this broadcast is for kids. You shouldn't be watching this. I'm not saying that. But since I know that some of them leak in from time to time, I'm just saying. So if you like my vision of the future better, don't be a conservative.
At 4 a.m. every single morning before school and go work at Federal Bake Shop in Atlanta to make money. 4 a.m. They used to call this building character, but I guess society is too soft for that now. Like, sometimes I think that we've overused...
I'm not too soft. I'm just not a cuck like you.
The soft
Brett
and sensitive
Cucker
thing. It's like it doesn't even hold any weight anymore. But this is really a perfect example. Like, we are so soft if we think this is traumatizing for children or is abnormal. This was my favorite quote tweet. This person said... So you guys don't think they should be able to work due to their age, but sex reassignment surgery is fine. Now, this person brought this up because this account with...
Yes, literally sex. Oh, okay, so let's reverse that then. You don't think that sex reassignment surgery is fine for a 16-year-old, but you do think that they're fine to work a deep fryer. That they're fine to get into... Let's walk over this. Let's say it's a kid who's got to drive to work, you know? You're fine with them getting into a half-ton bullet, like a half-ton bullet, speeding down the highway at 60, 70 miles an hour, just so that they can get behind a deep fryer and possibly harm themselves, you know? And they could kill themselves on the way there, too. But you're fine with that. But God forbid, oh no, God forbid they lop their tits off because it makes them kind of uncomfortable, right? Because they literally could succumb to something terrible if they don't. You know, but according to a doctor said that no, they need their tits off, you know? Like, it's causing them dysphoria, it's causing them great mental anguish, and they need them off. But that's not okay. But it is okay when they get into a car and risk their lives getting to a deep fryer so that they can sit behind a deep fryer for 8 to 12 hours a day on top of all the homework and sports that they want to do, right? Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Hammer and the sickle of the...
And yeah, breast reductions are totally fine when it's not trans people. Good point.
Flag frequently tweets things like this. Hashtag mutual aid request. Hashtag mutual aid. Hashtag trans kids. Hashtag transgender youth. Hashtag protect trans kids. Retweet
cool.
anything
Pog,
else.
Based.
So,
I love all of it.
Just to make sure we're on the same page here. It's too dangerous for a child to take orders on an iPad.
It's too dangerous for a child to get into a car and drive all the way to work for 20 minutes on the every minute that you're on the highway, you're at risk of dying. Every minute that you are in that car, you are at risk of getting into a car accident and dying. That's fine. That's fine with these people. You don't like, you hate kids. You fucking despise children. You.
At Burger King. But he could go in.
I don't want my kid sitting behind a fucking iPad at Burger King. Disgusting.
Surgery to change his gender if he wanted. Makes total sense. The first is
based
obviously
and gender
much more
pilled.
Dangerous long term for sure.
Or not gender
so
pilled.
Glad
Transgender
we all
pilled.
understand that, my friends. Matt Walsh jumped into this conversation and he said,
"Oh, good.
I had my first job when I was 14. I was able to do something productive, earn a bit of money."
This explains a lot. Yeah, your parents force you to work when you're 14. That explains a lot of how f***ed up you are. All right. Makes perfect sense. And also, I bet that was some stupid office shit. You know what I mean? Like he worked 2 hours or something, organizing files or some shit. Like, give me a break, man.
And learn some basic skills. I cannot understand why people are so opposed to this.
Interesting, you didn't say which job it was. I feel like that's important.
It's not like we're sending kids down into the mines. What is the problem exactly? And then
Not yet.
Prior to the industrial
it's
age,
coming,
kids
baby.
were working on the farm with their family, much like my producer Caleb, working on the farm at 14 years old. He's waving over there. This is not a capitalist invention. That is such a good.
Yeah. Why would you want that for your kids? I don't want my kids working a farm. I want them doing creative things. I want them learning about the world. Maybe they can study a new language or go somewhere that I've never been. You know, I want them to have experiences that I've never had. All right. That's what I want.
Good point. They're all pointing the finger and saying, Jeff Bezos did this, the
I
capitalist.
want them to love their lives.
Children have been working since the dawn of time. The
I don't
idea
care.
that kids should not do any kind of labor at all until they graduate college is an extremely modern, extremely Western notion that is also proven to be disastrously stupid and counterproductive on just about every imaginable level. Yes.
Unlike making kids
per usual,
work.
I agree with Matt Walsh basically on everything, and he hit the nail on the head here. Now, I've talked about this class before, but it was
She
just
probably also wants 10-year-olds to be impregnated.
most impactful class that I took basically throughout my entire college career. But I did a business program at UC Berkeley, and in our business culture...
This might sound nihilistic, but at this point, if we want socialism, we should try it in the EU or Canada. No. Listen, socialism doesn't happen until it happens everywhere. Do you understand that? It's got to happen here. It's got to happen in Venezuela. It's got to happen in Africa. It's got to happen in China and Japan and Vietnam. It's got to happen everywhere. You can't have... It's in Antarctica. The penguins must socialize as well, okay? They must become socialists. If they're capitalist penguins down there, them. They all got to be socialist, okay? Until every single landmass on this goddamn planet is socialist, none of it is, okay? It's a social democracy at best.
An interpersonal relationships class, a big discussion that we had was about big businesses prepping for Gen Z to enter the workforce. They're sensitive. They want to work from home. We need mental health resources for all of these new workers, yada, yada, yada. And they also have no work experience. That was literally something we talked about in this class. The professor was looking at all of us on our Zoom class saying,
give them
you
work
people
experience.
Have never worked. And so businesses are having to put systems in place to teach you how to work a job.
Are you saying that when I get a new job, they have to teach me how to do the job? Whoa, I never would have guessed that, man. Hey, guess what? I got work training in college for nursing. When I went into my first job at the nursing home, I was fucking garbage at it. I was garbage at my job. I left pills out. I left boxes unlocked. By accident. This was all by accident, mind you. All right. I gave out wrong medications sometimes. I was constantly under pressure with 25, upwards of 30 patients. All right. I had to know what to do in case of an emergency. I had to rush down halls and up halls. Like, I was a mess. And that was after a year and a half of getting my master's degree in nursing. Okay. And that was after training at the job. All right. It still sucked ass. God forbid that jobs have to teach their workers what to do. Oh, they clearly they have so much else on their plates, these CEOs, right? They have so much else on their plates that, it'd be horrible for them to actually train their employees.
How to show up, what your responsibilities
What's Fem Shapiro up to today? Advocating for child labor.
are. It was mind-boggling to me.
There's a name for employees like this, but we'll call him Squidward.
This is an article from Work Life.
You don't get to do my show like that. Sorry.
Gen Z's lack of in-office experience showing that they don't know how to behave at
Squidward
work.
had it right.
We are the generation entering the workforce with the least amount of work experience of any generation ever.
I don't care.
Literally ever. And it's because the rate of teenage workers has been declining for over 20 years. There was a recent study done at George Mason University, and they found that the percentage of teens not in the labor force who reported wanting a job fell by almost half between 1994 and 2009, from 24% to 13%.
If my kid wants to work under why? No. I will give you whatever money you need. No, you're not selling your labor. That's irresponsible. No, you're not underselling your labor to somebody who doesn't give a shit about you. I give a shit about you. I will give you money. If you feel like you have to earn it, I will give you work. Okay? There's no shortage of work that I can give you that is actually meaningful in our lives that I will pay you for. How about that? I think that's a fair trade-off. Hey, how about you just give your kids work to do? Oh, sorry, you don't make enough money that you can't pay your kids? What are you, a fucking deadbeat? Sorry, I'm a real man. I go out and earn my dollars, all right? All right? I can pay my kids to do my dishes or laundry or whatever else, okay? Because they actually want to work. They want to earn that shit, okay? And I'd rather them do it under me than under some corporate overlord who doesn't give a shit about them. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a real man. I thought you were a real parent. My bad. Guess that's just me.
And much of that was caused by teens being exclusively in school rather than combining school and work. And this all makes sense. Like, we have prioritized.
Hey, how about this? Compromise. How about we do it your way and we abolish homework, right? Now, I still wouldn't like that. I still wouldn't take that compromise. But at the very least, then we'd have some time, for these kids to do anything other than school and work. Just put them to work, all the time. Oh, you're not at school, you're not at work, you're at home. Here's a pile of homework. There you go. No sports for you, my friend. No time for your friends or video games or art or learning a new language or reading a new book or having a new experience. None of that. No. How about a pile of paperwork for you to do after all that time that you just spent at school and McDonald's? What a great idea, Brett. What a disgusting piece of shit you are.
Kids focusing wholly on school and extracurriculars.
Let kids be
so
kids.
They can get into a good college. They can do everything.
How about we let kids be kids?
Job. There's no time for work experience before that because their lives are so dominated by school. Well, how has that worked out for us? We've been doing that for 20, 25 years.
Yeah, fix the school system. The solution to this is not to throw them in behind a deep fryer. It's to fix the school system. But we don't want to do that. You'd rather than be stupid. Okay? This is such an on-the-nose advocacy for having stupid people work deep fryers all day that I don't know how it passes by people. I don't know how this goes over people's heads. This is the most obvious advocacy for child labor and stupid people, breeding more stupidity so that we can put them into the cogs of the machine, We must keep the capitalist machine running. We need stupid people for that, right? It's so obvious. It's blatant. Why are we watching a boot guzzler? For fun. Because I like shitting on people, and some people deserve to be shit on.
Point. Kids are now in crippling debt, going out into the workforce
Bullying
with
is
no
fun,
jobs.
so I direct it appropriately.
They have no real world experience. They're actually terrified to hold a real job. The responsibilities of a real job are horrifying. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos on TikTok where they're going, oh, I have to show up at 8 a.m. I can't believe Yeah. If you had maybe punched a clock in high school, you would understand that that's normal.
You know what I did today? I woke up at like 5 a.m. and I did some stuff on the computer, and then I did that thing with the election board in Stark County because they're doing that the transphobia. And then I took a nap. All right, like I dicked around for a little bit. Oh yeah, I got my oil changed too. And then I took a nap for like 2 hours, and it was great. It was great. What a refreshing nap in the middle of the f***ing day. You know what I would have been doing instead if I were at work? Working. I think I'd rather take my nap. Thank you.
Normal. And you would have gotten used to it. But guys, it's not all doom and gloom. We actually do have a positive update because in 2023, the number of teens working reached a 14-year high. It had the biggest increase literally since
Let's go. Child labor.
This graph, and in your mind, you're probably
child labor. Child labor. More child labor. Send them to the mines.
This is from Washington Post. A growing share of teenagers have jobs or are looking.
She's like, it's not like we're sending them to the mines. Well, you might as well. You're already sending them to the deep fryers.
For them. Look at that decline.
Good.
That's insane.
That's a sign of progress.
Wild. And then this historic increase, the 14-year high, 37%. Like, it's good that teenagers are working again and getting that experience.
Yeah, notice when that started. Anybody recognize that year? That was the year where good things happened, right? That was the year known for good things, the year of our Lord and Savior 2020. Ah, yes. That's a good thing that happens.
The 14-year high, 37%. Like, it's good that teenagers are working again and getting that experience.
I hate her.
But that is nowhere near where it was in the 90s. And our economy is behind this change. Young people have realized that if they want financial independence, they need to work because their allowances from their parents are not going to cut it, especially when their parents...
Yeah, especially when their parents can't fucking afford anything. It's tragic. All you want is to have a 3 household income or a 4 household income to be able to pay rent, not even own your fucking shit, just to pay rent. You want a serfdom. You want a serfdom where all the peasants have to work for you. All right? It's disgusting and you're a freak.
Parents are also feeling the hit from this economy. According to WAPO, inflation has been a major factor. Students from lower income families say that they are working to help their parents cover rent and utilities.
Yeah,
while
see?
others are using
It's
the extra money to
disgusting.
pay for the rising costs.
Why is that a good
car
thing?
Insurance or outings with friends. So,
how is that a good thing? Oh, the economy sucks. That's good for child labor, so therefore it's good, right? That's disgusting. How does anybody stand for this? This is like so on the nose that I can't even believe it. This is insane to me. I feel like I'm on a broken record, and I'm sorry, but like how? I'm just dumbfounded. It's disgusting. It's freak shit. It's abhorrent. I cast you out, Brett Cooper. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Like no. I reject this entirely. My body's rejecting this.
maybe, guys, this is the singular
exiled
consequence of Biden's economy.
Deported.
You can look on the
Deport
bright
her.
side, but also the fact that it took a crippling...
I will take 1 million illegal immigrants before I take this bitch, okay? I'm sorry. Deport her. Kick her out.
economy.
Send her to
and
Mexico.
Historic inflation.
America's not sending their best.
Out to work. Again,
nor is Daily
it's
Wire.
mind-boggling because our culture is so against it, and our culture has trained teens to believe that they don't need it and they should focus on something completely different. But we can choose to see the good here
like fun
and see that
shit.
kids are stepping
Shit
up. They're
that
having
brings
to
you
learn
joy in
responsibility,
life.
which is a very normal thing. Florida is even leaning into this trend of young people wanting to work and needing to work.
Disgusting. When I go to Florida, I don't want to see kids working Burger Kings. I want to see them on the beaches playing. I want to see them frolicking, you know, and building sandcastles and having fun like kids are supposed to do, not working deep fryers.
And since this summer, they've actually been working on rolling back some of their strict labor laws so that 16 and 17-year-olds can work more. And people online are having a freaking meltdown. It just
Appropriately so. You're a bitch.
went through a new set of approvals. This is from the Florida Phoenix.
You're horrific.
Rollback
You're
of Florida's
demonic.
Labor laws gets its first committee seal of approval.
God
because
hates
these
you.
rollbacks would allow 16 and 17-year-olds
God
to
hates
work
you.
6 consecutive days and up to 8-hour shifts. Right now, they're only allowed to work 4.5-hour shifts, I believe, and they can't work that many consecutive days.
They shouldn't work
But
any.
by the response online, you would think that Florida was saying that they are forcing 5-year-olds out into the swamp to fight alligators.
Good. Charlie.
That is the response from people online. One guy said, leaving no time for
Yeah,
balance.
fuck it, why not?
Learning how to manage leisure time, play sports, read, explore, work part-time, pursue hobbies, interests, etc. is a valuable part of young life. Of course, this is in line with racism.
It absolutely is in line with racism, and I'll explain how. Because we have way more poor people who are black than, proportionally, than poor people who are white, okay? And if you're poor, you're more likely to have underage labor. They're literally just bringing back slave labor, okay? Child labor is slave labor, no matter how much you pay them. Child labor is slave labor, no matter how much you pay them. Certainly if it's in a fucking deep fryer.
Like what? First of all, how is racism even involved in this?
You're
And second
taking
all,
advantage of
Florida
children.
is not
It's
saying
disgusting.
that you must work. Florida is not saying that you can't have a life outside of your 16-year-old part-time job. They are saying that
Correct.
if a kid wants to have a full-time job or needs to have a full-time job, they can. And they are lessening the government restrictions.
Yeah, if they need to. How about if they need to have a full-time job, we just give them money instead? Because the alternative to them not having a job is sometimes starving. They're fine with children starving. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're starving? Oh, well, you should have worked harder, man. Sorry. Good luck. Yeah, you love kids so much, don't you?
Keep them from doing this. Now, this might shock some of these people because maybe they're on unemployment and have never applied for a job, but there are part-time jobs that you can apply for where you work part-time. Maybe you work on Saturdays.
Oh,
maybe
good.
You work
Well,
on Wednesday
just
nights.
part-time
Balance can
slavery.
still exists
Part-time
if a
child
teenager
labor.
wants to have
Good.
balance.
Perfect.
And also, learning how to balance your life, your
Just
school,
part of the time.
your job, that's also part of adulthood. You're not losing that by saying that a teenager can work 8 hours if they get a job.
Oh, well, they can, so therefore they should. Just like they think about pregnancy, by the way. They can, therefore they should. They think the same way about pregnancy.
Where that is asked of them, or if they want to do that. And also, I think it's important to note that this is a fantastic time for young people.
She did
to be
say
getting
she believes
jobs
everything
because
Matt Walsh
companies
does.
are desperate. I don't know if you guys have looked at the posters in the windows of any fast food restaurant that you go through, but they have, a huge signing bonus. They have flexible hours. They are basically begging people to come work for them. These kids are not going to
Good. Let them beg. I hope they beg harder. All right. If you feel so sorry for them, Brett Cooper, you go work for them. All right? Do it for free. Oh, you feel so bad for McDonald's, don't you? Oh, they're begging for work. Oh, my goodness. You go volunteer. Don't even take any pay. Don't. All right? They need workers that badly, don't they? You might as well just go volunteer there, right? How about no? If I'm going to volunteer somewhere, it's going to be the soup kitchen, all right? Or a clothes drive. If I'm working, I'm going to be doing something that I'm passionate about, like nursing. Or my job here, streaming. This is becoming a job now. I'm making money on it, all right? I have some passion. How about you? The only passion that you have is forcing kids into the labor market. You disgusting freak.
be dominated by work unless
Your
they
passion
want
is
to be.
disgusting and
And
abhorrent.
Florida is not saying that they
It's a
have
sin.
to be. Like, people are okay with their kids having millions of followers on TikTok
What a
and getting
disgusting
exploited
freak.
online or giving their babies
Disgusting.
iPads and phones.
Absolutely disgusting.
But they're not okay with a
Shut the fuck
15-year-old
up.
having a job.
Nobody
You're an adult
cares
and you
anymore,
want a
Brett
phone?
Cooper. Nobody
You
cares.
need
You
to
are
use your
disgusting.
There's one thing
Disgust.
that
Oh
matters
yeah,
most
yeah.
to me.
You'd like that if I sat through that, wouldn't you? How about no? How about you f off?
Kid, get a job.
I don't
Call
do
around,
ads.
See who's hiring.
I have
promise
passion.
You, they are. The fact that people can't comprehend this is
No
absurd
shade to anybody who does ads. I know you got to do what you got to do, but I try not to.
to me. Another person said, We know who exactly the weakening of child labor laws are going to end up exploiting the most, right? Like, we know who the vast majority
Yes.
of kids who will need to work to support their families are, right?
No, you can prove that mathematically, literally. Because if you think about it, right? If you think about it for 2 seconds, Brett, I know that you have at least a couple of brain cells because you're speaking bullshit. It's really stupid bullshit, but at least you're speaking. So you have at least a couple of brain cells left. So bear with me, Brett. If you have poor people, all right, who are black, overwhelmingly, which that is the case, okay? Black people have way more poor people than white people do, the population, I'm sorry. Then it follows that more of their kids are going to be forced into the labor market, all right? Minorities are going to be the most at risk for this. That is demonstrably true. Demonstrably. And you're just lying by ignoring that.
Literacy rates falling, and now they think the kids should work? Okay, well, buddy.
Yes.
The literacy
Literally.
rates are falling because our school system is a train wreck, and
So
is
fix the
failing,
school
and it's
system.
failing kids. So
This is literally a case of like, oh, we have to get rid of the bathwater. Let's smash the bath with the child inside of it.
maybe, just maybe, we should try something else, because obviously,
And then the water
kids
floods
focusing
everywhere
their
along with the
every
blood of the
waking
child.
minute on school.
That's what this is.
Isn't turning out the way that we thought it would. I guarantee, I promise you, kids will gain more knowledge by working a job and having hands-on experience than they will sitting in a terrible American public school classroom and being talked
Oh,
at.
good.
And I know there are
Good.
amazing teachers out there who are staying in public schools and they're trying to turn it around.
This is
and when you
horrific
exist and
messaging,
you're out
by
there
the
and you're
way.
working for the kids.
Honestly, I hope they make more videos like this because this is the worst messaging that I've ever seen. I can't, off the top of my head, think of a video that is more blatantly like disgusting and freakish than this. Like, I really can't. It's baffling. It's baffling. Quite frankly, I hope they make more of these.
Kids, but on the whole, this system is failing children. And on that note, I loved this.
Yeah, don't
tweet.
educate
I think
the
the
kids.
schooling needs to be reduced and more targeted in math, science, coding, English, taxes, and
What they want to do is this. You guys know that conservatives love homeschool, right? They love homeschool because it isolates the kids, all right? And if in order to control a child, you must first isolate them. You must first convince them that there is nothing outside of their current circumstances. And their current circumstances are you and anything that you tell them to do. There's nothing that exists outside of you and anything that you tell that child to do. It's cult shit. Literal cult shit.
business. All else is garbage. Out at noon if you have a job, and also high schools should have programs where they can help place students in jobs where they have high strengths. Absolutely. And there were so many people in the comments under this post saying, you can't learn all of that by 12 o'clock. Yes, you can. I was a homeschooler. I would start at 8 a.m.
See?
and I would be done by 12.
This is what homeschool does to a motherfucker. Do not homeschool your children. And if you do, I understand that some parents would rather do that because of all the dangerous shit going on in schools and because the school system, frankly, does suck. But if you do homeschool, please, for the love of God, do it correctly, okay? Let your kids go out and meet some friends. Let your kids join clubs and shit, you know? Like, do it properly by the books. Get an actual tutor or teacher to help you. You know, if you're going to homeschool your kids, do it properly. I still recommend you send them to public school without as bad as it is, because that's still the most effective way to socially prepare your child for the world. But if you're going to homeschool, just do it properly, unlike they did with this bitch, this soulless husk of a person. Just disgusting.
When you guys hear me talk about every
All I see is
insane
a pile of shit.
extracurricular I did and how I did gymnastics and dance and all of this stuff and volunteered, that's because I finished school at 12
Oh, no wonder
o'clock
you're so
every day.
fucked
Because
up.
a
You
lot of
never
the
had a
things that
break.
kids do in school is pure
You
busy
never
work.
had a break to sit down and think about your own views of the world. You just got fed a bunch of bullshit, and so that's all you are now, is an amalgamation of other people's ideas and bullshit. And they stuck you in front of a fucking microphone in a studio that they pretend is a bedroom. Disgusting, grifting piece of shit.
That they don't need to be doing. And on the topic of job
A shit
programs, I don't
stain.
know if other states have this, but in Idaho, there are trade high schools where you do normal high school classes for the first 2 years, and then in the second 2 years, you are getting trained in a trade. So when you graduate, you have a certificate, and you can go start working. You can go
Nobody
start
cares
being
anymore.
an
Shut
apprentice
up.
and making money immediately.
I'm not
You don't
having
have to go
fun
to a trade
anymore.
school. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to even go to a community college. You can just start working. That is incredible. More schools should be doing that. More states should be implementing
How about
that.
no?
That is the direction we should be going. Get students what they need. Make sure they learn their math and how to write.
Get them what they need. Oh, let's start with food. Let's start with a house. Right? Oh no, they don't need that stuff. They don't need that. They just need a spatula for the deep fryer, right? For the grill. They don't need like basic needs. They just need tools to work. Right? Right, Brett? Right, Brett? Right? Right, Brett?
Properly, and then send them out in the world to learn responsibility and gain real life experience. And if you are outside of the brick and mortar Department of
Like
Education
at school.
model, you can do this.
You know what real life experience is? Talking to people. Being around people. Socializing. Something that we as a society have forgotten thanks to our capitalist overlords.
Right now. It is possible, and I
Hyper-isolationism.
suggest that
It's
you do, because
disgusting.
young
Nobody knows
people
how
are
to be
struggling,
people
both
anymore.
Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they can't read, they can't write, they lack real-world experience, many don't understand personal responsibility, they lack self-control. And you know where you can learn all of these
Yeah, good
things?
point, Susan. Children are ready to choose their lifelong profession at 16. Yeah, they can make lifelong decisions at the age of 16, huh? Oh, interesting. Oh, well then. Don't say anything about, gender affirmation or anything like that. No, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. No, that's evil. No, that's icky and yucky. Ew. But a career path, well, that's fine. You can pick what you choose to sell yourself to at 16. That's fine. Just no gender shit. No gender ideology. Because that's, I guess, dangerous.
In a job. Mind blown. Well, guys, I hope you liked it.
That was awful. Brett Cooper is a disgusting piece of shit. Holy crap. Like, I don't have anything else to add, guys. Seriously, it's blatant. It's blatant. Send the kids to the mines. The kids must work the mines. They yearn for the mines. That's all this is. It was so yikesy. I can't believe. Let me see some of these comments. I'm curious. Growing up, I wanted nothing more than to ride horses. Uh-oh, it's Fosh. Let's skip. My 14-year-old brother got a job at McDonald's. And he says that the majority of the employees are under the age of 18. There's nothing wrong with under 18s. It gives them the experience. Yeah, no, there is something wrong with it. It's called child labor. And that's a practice that we've done away with. My parents strongly discouraged me to get a job as a teen. They said homework was my job. True. And if I needed or wanted anything, my parents would buy it. Yeah, that's great. That's exactly how it should be. Sorry, you guys can't see the comment. Now you can. That's exactly how it should be. That's perfect. I want to see the replies. Oddly enough, yes. Your parents should have pushed you to get a job that could align with your proclivities or areas for improvement, like communicating with others. All good, though. Your parents did all they could. It's up to you now. I wanted to get a job, and they said no for a while. I'm an adult with a good job now. They get screwed every tax season. Yeah, I have met kids like that, and they're very socially awkward and have no workplace experience. No, I highly doubt that. You know what makes a kid socially awkward? When they're forced into the labor market at 14. That'll make them socially awkward. They become machines. Okay? You are grooming. This is grooming. They're groomers. Guys, this is not even like, I'm not even like embellishing. This is just groomer shit. They're just grooming children to be little machines. They're the groomers. Remember, every what is it called? Every accusation is an admission of guilt. Okay? Every accusation is a confession. They are groomers. Conservatives are groomers. If you are a conservative or any person, a liberal, centrist, whatever, and you believe that children under the age of, let's put it at 16 and say children under the age of 16 should have to work. I'll even be nice to you. Okay? I still think that nobody should have to work. I'm fine with compromising at 18, but I'll even go lower. I'll say 16. If you think kids under the age of 16 have to work, then fuck you. You're a goddamn groomer. You're a disgusting piece of shit, and I hate you. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.